In Formula One, there are lots of variables that affect success. Among them, having a great package of a car and having great drivers are most obvious ones. And McLaren had the best driver lineup throughout the history. From early 2000s to late 2010s, McLaren had excellent driver combinations to be their driver lineup, but they could only win one driver championship with Lewis Hamilton in 2008 and 0 constructor championships. So, how McLaren ruined legendary driver rotations? Well, let's start with McLaren's history. McLaren is one of the most historic teams of Formula One history, founded by former Formula One driver Bruce McLaren and managed by most of its victorious seasons by Ron Dennis. McLaren is the second most successful Formula One constructor after Ferrari. They have 8 constructors and 12 driver championships by 2022. They have some legendary drivers historically: Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Lewis Hamilton, Niki Lauda, James Hunt, Emerson Fittipaldi, Mika Hakkinen, Fernando Alonso, Danny Hulme, Nigel Mansell, Jenson Button, Keke Rosberg, Kimi Raikkonen are among the Formula One world champions who drove for McLaren. Especially from 1984 to 1991, McLaren has been extremely dominant, with Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost winning triple championships each, and Niki Lauda winning 1 championship to make 7 championships in 8 years. After 7 years of Williams dominance, which was designed by Adrian Newey actually, and 2 championships from Michael Schumacher with Benetton, Mika Hakkinen won back-to-back championships in 1998 and 1999. As you all know, 2000 and 2004 was totally dominated by Michael Schumacher and Ferrari with 5 back-to-back championships. So for McLaren, after the end of long Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard era, McLaren had another very good driver lineup of Juan Pablo Montoya and Kimi Raikkonen. This was such a fast driver lineup actually. Enhanced by pacey Mercedes engine, McLaren was the fastest car in 2005, but they had huge reliability issues during the Raikkonen-Montoya era. Raikkonen was very close to win the title in 2003 and competed with Alonso in 2005. However, young Fernando Alonso won back-to-back championships in 2005 and 2006. Fast and promising Raikkonen moved to Ferrari to replace retired legend Michael Schumacher, and after very strong seasons with BMW Williams, Juan Pablo Montoya could not match Raikkonen's pace, which led him to retire during the middle of 2006 season. But most importantly, McLaren lost Adrian Newey, the genius engineer and designer, to a Red Bull team. This was one of the key turning points for McLaren. Williams was the dominant force of Formula One in early and mid-90s when they had Adrian Newey. After McLaren signed Adrian Newey, McLaren won 2 championships and they lost this man to Red Bull. Actually, Red Bull will win 5 driver championships in future, 4 with Sebastian Vettel and 1 with Max Verstappen. So for 2007 season, McLaren had 2 vacant seats, and they signed reigning Formula 1 and GP2 champions. Back-to-back Formula 1 world champion Fernando Alonso moved to McLaren in 2007, and younger, promising driver Lewis Hamilton signed as the second driver to accompany Fernando Alonso. But something unexpected happened. No one expected 22 years old rookie Lewis Hamilton to match back-to-back Formula 1 world champions' pace. At the first turn of the first race of his career, Lewis Hamilton passed his teammate Fernando Alonso. From the first race of his career, Lewis Hamilton clearly showed he has something special. McLaren was fast in 2007, but Hamilton clearly wasn't born to be the second man and challenge for the championship all year long, and fight it with his teammate, back-to-back Formula 1 world champion Fernando Alonso. This war, or challenge, whatever you say, between Alonso and Hamilton turned out to be a teammate war, and with the addition of espionage controversy, McLaren lost everything in a season in which they have won 8 races, 4 by Hamilton and 4 by Alonso. McLaren's former driver Kimi Raikkonen won his first championship with Ferrari, which is the Ferrari's last championship as of 2022. After lots of controversy, teammate war and drama, Fernando Alonso left McLaren to rejoin Renault again after 1 season. McLaren signed Renault driver Heikki Kovalainen to continue their Finnish driver lineup with a mechanism of straight swap with Fernando Alonso. It was obvious that Lewis Hamilton was the face of McLaren team from his sophomore season, and he did it. He has won the championship in 2008 with dramatic end to take the championship title from Felipe Massa with just 1 point at the last race. Hamilton clearly outpaced his teammate Heikki Kovalainen. In 2009, Ron Dennis retired from team principal role. Before the start of 2009 season, Honda withdrew from Formula One and Ross Brawn converted team to Brown GP. They had a flying season start with Jenson Button winning 6 of first 7 races. McLaren was so slow compared to Brown and Red Bull, and Jenson Button became the Formula One World Champion. So once again, McLaren signed a former Formula One World Champion, Jenson Button. For 2010 season, they formed a driver lineup consisting of last 2 years champions. And both of them were British, Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton. So again, after 2007 season, McLaren had a very strong driver duo. But there was another bad news for McLaren. Last year's champion Brown GP was bought by Mercedes, which means McLaren's engine supplier Mercedes joined the Formula One as a team, and McLaren lost their works engine status from Mercedes to client team, which will affect them very much actually. From 2010 to 2012, McLaren's driver duo was Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton. This strong duo was overshadowed by dominant and fast Red Bull and Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel actually won 4 championships and Red Bull have won 4 Constructors' Championships. In 2013, Lewis Hamilton moved to Mercedes to win 6 more championships in future, to make it 7 championships by 2022. And Ron Dennis returned back to McLaren as the CEO. After trying young drivers to team up with Jenson Button, McLaren once again signed Fernando Alonso to have another former champion duo. From 2015, McLaren and Mercedes parted ways after 20 years of partnership, and McLaren signed with Honda. However, both Honda engine and McLaren cars are so slow and uncompetitive and unreliable. McLaren provided one of the worst cars of their history to 2 former Formula One World Champions. 2016 season has been their worst season since 1980. I don't even mention Mercedes dominance starting with the turbo hybrid era at 2014, since McLaren was completely irrelevant to the championship at that era. 2 former Formula One World Champions, Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button, were racing with back markers and each other outside the point spots. So Jenson Button retired at the end of 2016 season, and Alonso took a 2-year sabbatical to return Alpine at 2021. They still made a good investment to young promising star Lando Norris, but I'm afraid he will suffer from the same bad fortune. Daniel Ricciardo was an excellent driver at his early years in Red Bull, but I can see a long future for him at McLaren. Even McLaren test drivers currently are very strong. Reigning Formula E champion Nick de Vries, current Formula E leader, and their former driver Stoffel van Dorn, Formula 2 champion Oscar Piastri, and young and talented IndyCar driver Colton Herta. So with having superb driver lineups, McLaren have won only 1 driver championship and 0 constructor championships since 2000 year. But why one of the most historic and iconic teams of Formula 1 failed with having such talented drivers? Number 1. Losing Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey was simply a genius. He was the designer of championship-winning cars, which was also proved in Red Bull even at different eras. No need to make long explanations about him, just comparing McLaren's competitiveness between 1997 and 2005 and after 2006 is enough. Or Williams' results during Newey era and current status of Williams. Or Red Bull of last 12 years. Newey is obviously the master of designing championship-winning cars. Number 2. Management change. Ron Dennis retired from his role and then came back. Martin Whitmarsh managed McLaren during the era without Ron Dennis, and Dennis came back 5 years later. Whitmarsh's era has not been successful for McLaren, and Dennis had an excellent experience of managing a championship-winning constructor. His sabbatical did not help McLaren too. And number 3. Simply 2007 season. Espionage controversy, being unable to handle Alonso-Hamilton fraud. As mentioned in this video, they had a superior driver lineup of reigning back-to-back Formula 1 World Champion Fernando Alonso and future 7 times Formula 1 World Champion, at that time young GP3 champion wonderkid Lewis Hamilton. But they could not handle their competition. Even they won the Constructors' title at the track, lost driver championship to Raikkonen with just 1 point. Espionage scandal disqualified them from the contention that year. So that year has been disqualification for them. Number 4. Mercedes. Well, that was more unlikely situation than a bad management. Mercedes joined Formula One as a team and McLaren lost its works team status to customer team status. Mercedes historically provides superior engines. During the Finn driver era of McLaren with Hakkinen and Raikkonen, McLaren engines were always superb fast. Mercedes' ability on engines are better proved with Mercedes' dominance in turbo hybrid era. As of May 2022, I will not forget the rocket speed Mercedes engine that Lewis Hamilton had in 2021 Brazil GP. And number 5, failure of Honda engines with joining early. By the way, Honda is always leaving and rejoining Formula One. For a Formula One fan who started watching Formula One recently, Honda provides superior engines, as in 2021 Max Verstappen won the championship with a car which has Honda engine. And as of 20th May 2022, Max Verstappen won every race he finished in 2022. However, during McLaren-Honda partnership, Honda engines were not at the level of Red Bull, and McLaren also had a very slow car with once again reliability problems. Number 6. Dominant Red Bull team. Red Bull has been superior at early 2010s with Vettel winning 4 championships in a row. Designed by former McLaren man Adrian Newey, Red Bull team has been superb dominant in early 2010s. Their pace was clearly better than all, and McLaren simply could not match Red Bull's pace. And number 7. Reliability issues. Reliability has been the key issue for McLaren at the different periods since 2000. From Raikkonen in early 2000s to Button in early 2010s, McLaren suffered from reliability problems. Even if a driver has strong results, having so many DNFs in a season decreases their chances to be competitive. So, McLaren had Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button and Kimi Raikkonen in the last 20 years after Mika Hakkinen era. All 4 drivers are world champions and have 11 championships and lots of second place championship finishes in their careers. Additionally, they had talented driver Juan Pablo Montoya, but he did not perform well in McLaren. They had such talented drivers, however, they just won one driver championship with having at least one of these drivers every single year from 2002 to 2017, caused mostly by the factors mentioned in this video. So thank you for watching, see you next time. Please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Thank you.